The book of Exodus 1 verse 8 says, Then a new king to whom Joseph meant nothing came over to Egypt. No, actually, eventually a new king came to power in Egypt who knew nothing about Joseph or what he had done. Let me tell you, Nigeria is a country in West Africa, largest country in Africa by population. In 1914, the European colonial masters united Nigeria and the different tribes after a series of tribal wars. They united it and made it into one country. In 1960, they said they're moving out. They handed over leadership to Nigerians. 6 years after they left, the southern part of Nigeria, okay, or called the Old Eastern Region. This Eastern region said we're moving out. Note that my line is not perfect. So this part of the country said we're moving out. We want to form our own country. We're not the same with this kind of people. We don't have their culture and everything. We want to form our own country. A lot of things precipitated the war, which I'm not going into. All right. So war started. Eventually they lost the war, right? And then they're still part of Nigeria till today. But what happened during the war is why I'm making this video. One story that you will not see anywhere on the internet. So during the war, the Nigerian forces or federal troops were attacking from here. They attacked from here and then forcing the civilians to move this direction. Okay, why are they moving this direction? They want to cross over to Cameroon for safety. All right. Now, at that time, of course, they didn't know they were encircled, right? The Nigerian federal troops eventually encircled them, so they couldn't really run to anywhere. But after the war, many of them started coming back. So the war lasted 3 years, 1967 to 1970. Okay, imagine leaving your house for 3 years. All right, the entire village vacating or town vacating for 3 years. When the civilians were not coming back to their towns and their villages and their compounds, they discovered that most villages and towns have turned to forests. All right, grasses have grown everywhere, the trees have branches, everything, and most domestic animals turned to wild animals. If you knew how an average African home is set, all right, you will see that humans live right next to animals in the same compound. Okay, you will see chickens freely moving around the compound. You will see dogs moving. You see goats, and there is no food wastage. Once the humans are done with their food, you bring it outside and give it to the chickens and the goats and the dogs. There's always an animal somewhere that will eat the food. So really often there is really no need for waste bin when it comes to food. All right. So these chickens, they don't run from humans. They like humans because once they see you, they know that you're about to give them food. But when humans came back after 3 years, the dogs forgot what humans used to look like and they started screaming hysterically when they see humans. All right. There was an entire generation of dogs that have never seen humans. So when they see a human, they start barking. Whoa, 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 whoa. They run inside the deeper inside the forest. The chickens will see humans and run like crazy. Like, who the hell are these aliens? Pa, 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 pa. They will fly on top of the tree, all right, for safety, because they have never seen humans before, or they forgot what humans used to look like. That brings us back to this verse. It says, look, now there arose a new king over Egypt who did not know Joseph. And if you read the next verse, verse 9, it starts the right next verse is violence. The king of fear, hysteria, violence. He said, oh, the Israelites are too much in number. All right, this has become a problem. Why? He did not know the origin, how they arrived in the country first. I'm not saying this story is true. I have a lot of Christian followers, so I'm using this to drive home my point. Okay? So, but what does this show you? This is a lesson not for everybody. Those who will not understand this message will not understand it. But those who this message is meant for, they will get it. Do not leave the scene. Don't leave the stage. Once life has put you on a stage, you have to constantly battle to remain there, to remain relevant. There was a Nigerian musician, one of the best lyricists in the world, best musician in Africa. He went AWOL for many years. Nobody has heard about him. Nothing happened. His career did not collapse. Nothing. He just disappeared from the music scene. And people have been tweeting every now and then that, bro, we need an album from you. We need a song from you. You are really a good singer. We need a song from you. This guy disappeared, giving space for younger artists to rise. And these younger artists, they don't know how to write lyrics. They don't know how to. They just go with the flow. And now their songs are trending and everywhere. Finally, this older artist decided to release a song a few days ago. The song is still really good. It's really deep in meaning, but it's not trending because there is now an entire generation of listeners that don't know that kind of music. So the music is alien to them, so it's not trending. Do you understand? So now this is how many artists and musicians destroy their career. In the height of their fame, they vanish. You will not see them again. After like 10, 15 years, they try to make a comeback. Why did you disappear in the first place? Do you know why Donald Trump won this election and the previous election? Because he understood something. You have to always be in the media. So the first time he was coming out, they all attacked him and said he's never going to win, not knowing that the whole attacks is putting his name in the mouth of people. Every day they are saying something about him. Free marketing. Even though what they were saying was negative, it put his name in every household. So that when his positive message finally comes out, the number of people that will get it will be more. And this is how he gained the popularity to win the first election. So these people went back and said, oh, we gave him popularity. He had popularity because he had an account on our social media. So they banned him from all social media. They banned Trump everywhere. Trump understood the power of social media, so he went back and built his own social media, called it Truth Social or something, or Parler. I can't remember the name. But he couldn't grow. Even though Trump was a billionaire, even though he was an astute businessman, very experienced businessman, he could not grow the social media because what? The hosting companies refused to host it for him. Because the same hosting companies are the ones that run the social media. They're in the same WhatsApp group. They refused. So he had to figure out some foreign media or whatever, or put up his own host and servers to host the platform. Because of that, they had to limit registrations. And to grow a social media, you have to come and you have to advertise on other social media. And if those ones refuse you adverts, how is anybody going to know about your social media? So after trying it for a year or two, they realized that, nah, this thing is not growing. So he called up his friend, Musk, I assume, and they supported him and everything. He went and bought one of the existing social media that was not making profits. Twitter has never made profit since it was founded. It was running at massive losses per year. So it was easy for Musk to buy it, but the sacrifice was ultimate. He bought it for $44 billion, something like that. Very, very expensive. To the point that Musk had to go to the Middle East to look for billionaires there to support. But why did he make that kind of sacrifice to buy such a? Because the party, the Republican Party, they understood, because it was being led by Trump. They understood the power of the media. We have to own one of these big guys. And the moment they bought Twitter was when it was obvious to any thinking person that Trump has won the election again, because he has won the media battle. Now, Elon Musk brought Trump back in. We understand, into Twitter. So now we can hear what Trump is saying again. Now, Trump used another method and said, look, if you guys cannot put me on your social media, right? I can clip what you said that sounds stupid and put it on your own social media. Are you going to remove yourself? So whenever his opponents make a speech and everything, all of a sudden you start seeing clips of the speech where it sounds stupid and on the same social media. How can the algorithm remove somebody the algorithm is supporting? So their own message was now used against them. It's crazy. What am I saying? In your career, any stage you get into, you don't allow yourself to be irrelevant. If you look at this election, when Trump was contesting against Kamala was avoiding debates, in the sense that there were many town hall meetings Trump and Kamala were invited so that they can speak. Kamala will not show up. Only Trump will show up. Do you understand? So if you go and Google at least 2 or 3 that I counted, that Trump was supposed to come and Kamala will not show. Trump will always be there. They called him for debate with Biden. He did not shy away. He showed up. And after the debate, Biden was removed. Called him with Kamala. He showed up. People say that Kamala won the election, but the debate. But after the debate, Kamala was calling for a second one again, which means she was not satisfied with the first one. So at the end of the day, Trump understood being in people's faces.